Hello, my friends. It's Monday, December 15th, 2025, and I'm your host, Radical Russ Belville, your Red State refugee, and welcome to the Radical Russ Show, your weekday morning wake and bake, coming to you from Rolla J Studios in Southern Oregon. It goes down smooth. Hey! Welcome to the program, everyone, and I apologize for being away from your ears for so long, but I've been kind of having a crisis about what I'm going to do with this podcast, and the crisis is this. I'm just one guy. Yeah, I am. I'm just one guy, and I keep trying to do a podcast that would take an entire team. It's kind of what got me burned out in my first podcasting career, is that I would do the writing and researching and producing and graphic design and posting and editing and sound engineering and all of the things that modern podcasters are doing with an entire team. And I tell you the truth, it burns me out. I was doing this podcast, these first 60 or so episodes, and I'd get up at 5 in the morning to start my researching, and I wouldn't have the thing posted till 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and that's on my day off, and that's not much of a day off when you're working an entire day. So I'm going to flip things up just a little bit here on this show and make it a little more ad lib, as it were, a little more ad hoc, maybe ad nauseum, I don't know, but I'm just going to get up in the morning and do my regular ritual, because this is what I do. I wake up in the morning and I wake and bake. And I know not everybody has that advantage, but I'm old and I'm retired and I'm successful at legalizing marijuana in my state, so that's what I'm going to do. And so what this show is going to be from now on is just me waking up and scrolling through my Bluesky feed. I'm at radicalruss.com on Bluesky, and just musing about what has happened over the previous day or the weekend if it's coming in on a Monday. So whatever it is I have to talk about, that's what I'm going to talk about, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's get started with the first of these new shows. And as I woke up today, the horrible news. Yesterday was just a terrible day all around. I woke up on Sunday morning, and the first thing I saw in my Bluesky feed in the trending tab there was Bondi shooting. I'm like, oh my God, someone assassinated the Attorney General, Pam Bondi? No, that wasn't it. Tragically, it was a shooting at Bondi Beach in Sydney, Australia, where a father and son, apparently, who are registered firearm owners, at least the father was, took their 6 firearms to the beach and started shooting at Jewish folks that were celebrating the first day of Hanukkah there on Bondi Beach. You've probably seen the videos by now. And the heroic efforts of Ahmed al-Ahmed, an Muslim immigrant to Australia. I mean, this, if you were writing this out as a Hollywood script, you had the two shooters, two guys, two evil madmen wearing black. The hero, Ahmed, is wearing white. He takes the guys down, and he's a Muslim immigrant, right? All of this talk, all of this worry about Islamophobia and anti-Semitism, and the way that the Trump administration and others in that white nationalist movement try to create this battle, this fight between Muslims and Jews, that the two of them don't seem to have a problem with each other. They have a problem with everyone else having a problem with them. And I loved how Zoran Mamdani quoted on this too. He put out a post about the senseless tragedy, the anti-Semitism, all the terrible things happening. And then in like his third paragraph, he opens it up with, a brave man fought back to, stop the attackers, but didn't go on to mention that he was a Muslim immigrant. Kind of let that as a exercise for the reader, as you will. Didn't want to hammer away that point too much from his point of view, but he's absolutely right. It's like all of this demonization of immigrants and demonization of Muslims, and here's the Muslim immigrant saving countless numbers of lives by what he did. The father is apparently dead. The son is still in critical condition in Australia. They're checking him out. But more senseless violence. And, of course, this brings up the righties on our side here. In America, they're like, oh yeah, see, I thought Australia, they banned all the guns. You gun grabbers kept saying that Australia, they had a mass shooting and then they banned all the guns. See what happened? They had a mass shooting. Yeah, except in Australia, their mass shootings happen once every 30 years or so. The perpetrators are using single-shot long guns, like hunting rifles. You can see it in the videos. Pow, click, click, pow. Click, click, pow. It wasn't pow, 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 like you get here in America. It wasn't an AR-15 with a 30-round magazine and a bump stock that allows a guy to fire 3 shots a second. Because if it was, Ahmed al-Ahmed would not have been able to tackle one of them. They would not have had the opportunity. It was the timing in between the shots. You could see him wait for it and then jump in to attack the guy. So, yeah, don't give me this, oh, it didn't work in Australia. It absolutely worked in Australia. It saved many, many lives there. Too many were lost. I think it was 11 or 12 at the count that I heard, but could have been so many more. This could have been a Las Vegas shooting. You remember our Las Vegas shooting where the guy's up in the hotel room with his AR-15 and the bump stocks and he's picking out 50 or so people, wounding hundreds? That's what would have happened on Bondi Beach if this had been America. The casualties had been numbered in the scores. Okay? So don't give me this gun control can't work bullshit. Because it's something we need to address here in the United States of America. I've talked about it many times. I'm a gun owner. I'm a military veteran. And I still think it ought to be more of a pain in the ass to get a gun than to get a building permit. Right? Everybody has the right to build, right? We have the right to build stuff. But you can't just build anything you want, anywhere you want, any way you want. There are permits and processes and inspections and all sorts of stuff that's involved with that. We have the right to drive cars. But not just anybody can get behind any old car and drive it any old way or where they want. That's where I part ways with so many of the gun guys, is they think that a right means that it's absolutely unrestricted. Shall not be infringed. Anyway, I don't want to talk too long on this because it's not the only disturbing news. We started the day with the whole Bondi Beach thing. We end the day, before I went to bed last night, I could not believe this. Seeing that there was 2 deaths being investigated at a home being owned by the director Rob Reiner, which I wake up this morning and it's pretty much confirmed that Rob Reiner, age 78, and his wife, who was age 68, were killed in their home in Brentwood. And People magazine is reporting that it was their son, Nick, with a knife, who slaughtered his parents. What I've read of the reports of Nick Reiner is that he'd had problems with substance abuse and homelessness, maybe some mental illness issues there. I was still waiting for more details, but this is so terribly tragic because Rob Reiner was one of the good ones, man. His run of movies that he directed between Princess Bride, A Few Good Men, Misery, Stand By Me, some of the greatest movies ever made. When Harry Met Sally. Just think about all of the lingo that has been added to our vocabulary based on movies that he put out. You know, I'll have what she's having. Anybody want to see a dead body? You can't handle the truth. Just the iconic lines. Nobody had a better run as a director for one stretch of time than did Rob Reiner. And of course, Spinal Tap. God, you know, one of the first sitcom characters I can remember as a kid growing up was Meathead on All in the Family. I must have been, 4, 5, 6 years old, but you can get the name Meathead. You don't know why it was funny or get any of the serious social satire that was going on in All in the Family. But as a little kid, you could get the name Meathead. That was kind of funny. Meathead, right? And then as I came up and started playing bass, I was like 16 years old when Spinal Tap came out. And, you know, it was funny seeing Spinal Tap at 16, and then later in my 20s, as I become a professional musician, learning just how accurate a lot of it is. Getting lost trying to get to the stage, guitar players who are complete idiots. I mean, man, what a shame. I can't believe that we've lost out on Rob Reiner. It's what a terrible, terrible time, terrible day. Anyway, that's what's going through my Bluesky feed this morning, and what I had on my mind as well, just because of this, these terrible deaths. I just, a damn shame. The other thing, I guess I should update us on the end of our football. For Boise State, we went ahead and captured the third straight Mountain West Championship. Hooray! We beat UNLV for the third straight championship game, only to go on to our bowl game and absolutely fall on our face to University of Washington out of the Big Ten. We lost like 38-10, and I don't know if it was our best of our 5 losses this year or the worst of our 5 losses this year, because it was the worst of our 5 losses by points. We lost by 28 points. Worst loss, our second biggest loss was by 27, I think, to USF at the beginning of the year. So it was our worst loss, lost by 28, but maybe it was our best loss, because at least this time we scored more than 7 points. The other 4 losses, we only scored 7. This time we scored 10. Woohoo! And then, of course, my other football news is the Packers went and lost their number 2 seed because they lost to Denver Broncos in Denver, who came back. The Packers were ahead most of the game, but then Bo Nix brought the team back. And in addition, the Packers also lost to injury one of the wide receivers, Deshaun Watson, great receiver, and most devastatingly, Micah Parsons on the defense. And that could be it for the Packers Super Bowl run as far as I'm concerned, because he was the guy that was making all the difference. On my Lady Love side, the Indianapolis Colts started 44-year-old grandfather quarterback Phillip Rivers 5 years out of the NFL. And they lost to the Seahawks, but that's nothing on him. The Seahawks are a really good team this year, 18-16. But it does leave one wondering, does nobody have Colin Kaepernick's phone number? Does nobody have Cam Newton's phone number? 2 black quarterbacks who are 6 years and 8 years younger than Phillip Rivers is. Kind of goes to show where the mindset of the NFL is when it comes to leadership quarterbacks. And especially, we are talking about the state of Indiana after all. We still have the MAGAs out there protesting. Latest thing going on here with all the ICE raids that are happening. Some kids in Hillsboro, Oregon, walked out of class and demonstrated. And Hillsboro is a heavily Latino area of the Portland suburbs. I actually lived out there. I lived in West Portland for the first year or 2 that I lived out in Portland, and that's real close to Hillsboro. Spent a lot of time out there, so it's great to see the kids protesting against this stuff. And we're also dealing with the Epstein files. We're still waiting for those to come out. More photos have come out. Alan Dershowitz and Sir Richard Branson, Bill Clinton, all these guys hanging out with Epstein. This drip. This is the thing about the Epstein files, is there's never going to be a complete release of the Epstein files. We'll be seeing more and more stuff coming out of this year after year, decade after decade, as more people pass away, as it becomes safer to release different things. Don't think we're going to get the whole set of files, though, on the 19th. I know by law we're supposed to have the complete reveal of the Epstein files, but there's all sorts of, national security interest, ongoing investigation. They're going to hide a lot of stuff. It's all going to come out and say Bill Clinton did this terrible stuff, and Alan Dershowitz did this terrible stuff, and Larry Summers did this terrible stuff, and all these Democrats did this terrible stuff. But No Republicans, no big GOP donors. None of those tech bros seem to be on the list. Lots of redactions, though. We sure got a lot of redactions in this list, but we can't see any tech bros or any of the Republicans on the list. Must be an ongoing investigation, right? Yeah, we'll see how all this turns out. All right, let me wrap things up. The other thing I've been keeping you appraised of is my hashtag Tubi TV night, because I know you're a working class person like me. You can't afford all these subscription services, the Apple TVs and Netflixes and Paramount Plus and Peacock and God, you got to have like 5-6 different subscriptions these days just to watch TV, but I do my best to find all the free stuff out there on the Tubi TV app. You can probably download that on your smart TV or your tablet or phone, and there's all sorts of good stuff you can find from time to time. Let me give you a look at some of the most recent things I've been watching. A couple weeks ago, I watched this movie Miley Cyrus was in called LOL. And I picked it up because it had a pretty loaded cast. Demi Moore, Gina Gershon, Thomas Jane, Nora Dunn. Even Marlo Thomas is in this movie. It's got one of these coming-of-age movies. Miley's the young daughter. Demi's her mom. She's a divorced mom. The divorced mom's trying to find new love. The young daughter is trying to navigate her teenage. And it was okay. It's just forgettable background fluff. You don't really end up caring much about the characters, but Miley Cyrus and Demi Moore on your screen is not the worst place to park your eyeballs. The other movies I've seen recently, finally has been released on Tubi, is 2023's Barbie movie, the Greta Gerwig directed and written feature, which I don't need to tell you, it was an excellent movie. You saw all the reviews from a couple years ago and everybody ranting and raving about it during the whole Barbenheimer deal. Oh, by the way, quick thing on Oppenheimer. I still will not stop complaining about the scene in Oppenheimer in 1946 when the entire audience is holding 50-star U.S. flags. Anyway, we watched the Barbie movie. Awesome, great, fantastic movie. I love the one line. Helen Mirren is the narrator of the movie, and Barbie has this little exposition where she's talking about feeling ugly, and Helen Mirren, as the narrator, comes in and says, "Note to filmmakers, Margot Robbie is the wrong person to cast to make this point." Yeah, absolutely true. Margot Robbie isn't human. She is an AI. She's designed by AI under the prompt perfectly gorgeous blonde. See also Susan Day. Do you think they look alike? Do you remember Susan Day from the Partridge Family? Doesn't she look like Margot Robbie? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But my all-time, this has got to be one of my favorite movies of all time that I'm going to share with you from Tubi TV night. Check out my hashtag out on Bluesky. I keep track of all of these. I give you the links to IMDb so then you can find where to watch them on your own platforms if it's not Tubi. But 2018, The Happy Time Murders. Oh my God, this is a Melissa McCarthy feature. It's one of these, private eye murder mystery, film noir, tough detective kind of shows with puppets. And I tell you, folks, if you can't, I find that my humor is the type of humor that doesn't match other people's types of humor. Like, there's a lot of movies that I think are hilarious. Other people are like, oh my God, that was the stupidest fucking thing. Because maybe it's me. I can just accept a premise. And once I've accepted the premise, I'm on the ride and I'm ready to go. So if you can accept the premise that Melissa McCarthy lives in a world where puppets are real, like the puppets from the Muppet Show are walking around having real lives. I don't want to tell you much more about it. All I got to say, I will never look at bovine octopode relations the same way again. And it's you have to have a sick sense of humor to enjoy it. So if you go into this in the first 10-15 minutes you don't like it, go ahead and turn it off because you're just not going to like the rest. But if you're like me, it's the most genuine laugh out loud movie that I've seen since A Fish Called Wanda. which I consider one of the greatest movies of all time. So there you have it. The Happy Time Murders from 2018, my favorite Melissa McCarthy movie of all time. All right, so that's all for today. We'll be back tomorrow with another smoke session. I hope you enjoyed this new format, a little loosey-goosey, but hey, that's the way it is in the morning when you wake and bake, right? The Radical Rush Show is produced, directed, researched, written, recited. Yeah, see what happens with the wake and bake? The Radical Rush Show is produced, directed, researched, written, recited, posted, and catered by me, Radical Russ Belville, and governed by Creative Commons share-alike licensing. News, music, and video clips and social media posts are reproduced under fair use copyright laws for commentary and analysis. My main theme is We Love the Herb by Herbal Nation, and interstitial music is by Russ Boom Boom Belville. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, take care of each other.
Take it out one more time. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it, and it goes down smooth.